You'll never guess who's turned up. No letter to say I'll be back, let alone a by your leave. Oh, but that's no her way, is it? A body canna know what to expect from my mother. Oh, you think it couldn't be so bad as that? Have you not heard tell of it? You must be the only folk in the township who haven't. Folk had been tettering for some time before, we all knew. Word got out as Da had built a wee cabin for Mum, just for her and the babbies. So they didn't live together as most husbands and wives do, if you see my meaning. Da said it was because she'd asked him to do it. She said 'twas because he'd forced her out of the house. The truth was somewhere in between. But we got along fine like that, all 9 of us, until the day me and Da returned from London Market to find my sisters all alone, saying as Mum had left. She wasn't there anymore, nor was wee Johnny, our youngest. Our eldest brother, Andrew, rode off to find them, but a neighbour returned his horse to us, and that was the last we heard tell of him for 2 months. 2 months later, Andrew returned alone. He'd walked with Mum all the way to Queenston. Do you know it, on the Niagara? I've no been there. He left her at the ferry and she crossed by herself into the States, wee Johnny in hand. Andrew watched him go and turn back home. So, you're wondering, as we were, why? Andrew said his mum told him she wanted to see an old friend. An old dear friend from home. She must see this friend. The truth of it is this. My mother walked 200 miles with a 5-year-old laddie because she'd heard tell that her old sweetheart was living in New York just across the border. Her sweetheart from Scotland, when they were but 15 and wanted to marry, but their parents said nay. Mum wed Da instead, who was older and had a bit of means. But it seems she pined for him always, this William Mayer, a canal worker. Somehow she heard tell he was in Lewiston, his own wife dead, and she found him and moved right in. With Johnny, who was named for Da. Soon after, Johnny got a wee half-brother, my half-brother, who I've only just heard tell of, whose mum and Da were never wed because my Da was here, quite alive, thank you very much. My strong and solemn Da, who never had much to say, but kept us all so well. Until 5 years ago, when he left us. The way God intended for folk to leave. He died. Now this William Mayer is dead and Mum has come home. With Johnny all growed up and young William. She's been gone 21 years. It's 18 years since my first child was born, and 18 since that child went to heaven. Had another the next year, and the Lord took her to him as well. Where was my mother then? Sinning, being happy. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy. My husband, Nathan Griffith, he's a good man, big man in the township. We live here on Brick Street, near to our brickyards. We do well. 5 children living. Mum said she can't wait to meet them. I looked at her. Well, what was that to do then, Jane? Walk back. I was 41 years old cold when he went. How could I walk so long again, sleeping on the ground? I'm 40 now, and I kind of think of it. The walking or the being in love. Like that. Enough to make you do that. How can I forgive her? She would never have got away with this in Scotland. Yet she's my mother. And I'd never say it to anyone I ken, but perhaps I understand her. And perhaps I envy her a bit. All those years of emigrating, bearing children, clearing land, and she done it with a grim set mouth and a sharp Highland tongue, but she done it. And all the time she'd a song buried in her heart. And when she heard tell of Mr. Mayor, 'twouldn't be buried no more. Oh, the Lord wants me to forgive, but does he want me to think that? How much forgiveness is allowed?